Okay, let's see. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. Testing 1, 2, 3. All right, what's going on here? Testing. Testing. Oh, one of them's working. One of these is working. I don't know which one. I'll turn off this one. Testing. Okay. All right. I think we're good. Technical difficulties for a Friday. What can we say? All right. All right. We're back. We're back. Everything is working now. Okay. Um, let's take this from the top. Welcome everybody to the market close. We got ourselves a green day on the market. This is our gateway. This is our gateway to the weekend. So I am I love Friday shows. I love Friday shows. Although I gotta say that sound issue, that's normally a Monday problem. That's normally a Monday problem, but not today. Not today. We had a good bout of no sound. I don't know what was going on there. At first, both of them weren't working. Now this one's working. So, all right. I'm just glad. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here. All right. Let's let's jump into the market. No, let's not jump in there. We'll jump over here. All right. So as I was saying, we have a nice green day here on the TSX. We are currently sitting at 0.37 up, so not too shabby. Not too shabby. I'd like to see a little more green, but nonetheless, we're having a fantastic January. So you can see we're well above the blue line, and for anybody who doesn't know what that blue line is, that's the divider between red and green. So if we stay above that blue line, we're in a green January. If we fall below it, well, no, that's the red side. So we don't want to go to the red side. So far, January looking very strong. In fact, the TSX so far in January is up 4.11%. That's pretty good. Looking south of the border, not as good of a picture, guys. Not as good as a picture. The S&P 500, they are in green territory for the month, but not by much. They're actually, well, they're actually only up 0.49% year to date. So they're not doing super great. And they even had a little romp back here. Well, this was, Donald Trump. Donald Trump did this, but yeah, they had a romp onto the red side for a bit. The NASDAQ. Now, the NASDAQ, well, oh, by the way, they are currently in the green, 0.04 to the downside. When I actually started the stream, they were sitting at 0.00. So they've slipped a tiny bit here. The NASDAQ. Now, the NASDAQ had a better day, at least the first half of the day. The second half of the day has been more in the red. But they are up 0.31% on the day, and they are north of the blue line, so they are in green territory. So we got to give them that. The Dow Jones Industrial not having the best day, down 0.60%, and the little guys, Russell, oh boy, they had a bad day today. But you got to know, they have been rocking this month, so a little correction, maybe it might be healthy for those little stocks. Maybe it's healthy, but today it's 1.87 to the downside. What can I say? Now gold's still looking pretty strong. Gold is up 0.82%. But if there's a winner today, look at this. Look at silver. Hi-ho, silver away. Where's the moon? That's what silver's doing, up 6.24%. Yikes. Copper also having a pretty darn good day, up 2.24%. You wouldn't know it because of this last candle, but they did have this nice pump this morning. So copper still up 2.24. WTI looking strong, up 2.76%, and crypto in the red again today. Crypto is definitely, negative 2.6 on Bitcoin, negative 0.67 on Ethereum. All right, let's take a look at the heat map and let's see what's going on here. I did not get a chance to refresh this before the stream, so I'll just refresh these as we go. A little bit of a mixed match in some places. The banks, well, there's a little bit of weakness in the banks. Look at BMO, down 1.66% today. TD down 6.9, Royal Bank down 0.4. There is some weakness in the banks today. Well, Scotiabank is kind of flat. They're only down 0.02%. If you look at our minerals and energy, this is where we got our strength today. You can see, like, when it comes to miners, Barrick Gold up 3.06. Cameco still up 0.74. London Gold up 1.85% today. And over on our energy, we got CNQ, of course, up 1.04. Suncor, Imperial Oil, Cenovus, all up and doing well. Few of our pipelines, Pembina Pipelines, they're up 1.31% today. They've been doing pretty good lately. So pipelines the last few days, I almost have to look at my ETF. So I will look at, remind me guys to look at that later if I don't remember, but I do want to take a look. Railroads, CP kind of flat, up 0.01. CNR down a tiny bit, just a tiny bit. Looking south of the border, well, the financial sector in the United States not doing great today. You can just see this big, it's like a black hole of red. So yeah, absolutely, banks not doing great in the United States. Tech kind of, it depends. Like Microsoft and Nvidia both doing good, but Apple's flat. Google's down a tiny bit. Tesla's down a tiny bit. But it looks to me like financials is one of those areas that is down a little bit. Broadcom also down today, 1.58. Meta, though, Meta's the one that's doing good over there in tech, up 2.23%. Also Amazon, 2.53%. Let's take a look at crypto. And as you know, we're having a red day, so we got a little bit of downness here on Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. Look at that, down 0.71. Solana down 1.29. Dogecoin down 0.42. We do have a tradition. I like to pick on a coin. There's about 15,000 of these little altcoins here. I like to just pick a random one, and I like to pick a color that is opposite of whatever Bitcoin's doing. So Bitcoin right now is technically in the red. So let's grab a green. Oh, let's grab this one. Let's grab this one. Let's see what we got here. Shiro Nico. All right. I don't know what this is, but I can tell it's definitely a meme coin. Obviously, cute cat. Probably, I don't know. It's a meme coin. It's not worth very much, guys. Look at this. Oh, this is a big exponent. Its price is priced in an exponent, e to the negative 8. That's small. So this is worth next to nothing. And, well, it is priced for what it's worth. And I will definitely say I'm not going to buy any Shiro Nico because, well, guys, these coins are, oh boy, they're just dangerous. They're very dangerous. I call them crap coins because they're like going to the casino, throwing the dice on the crap table. You're not going to win. The house always wins, guys. Be careful with these. If you're interested, if you see a cute cat, well, keep in mind that's marketing. They're trying to suck your dollar into this worthless coin. So avoid these, guys. Or if you do want to look into them, at least read the white paper. Maybe follow the developers on social media. Find out everything you can. But honestly, your best bet, I would avoid them. I mean, there is money to be made in crypto. It's not with Shiro Nico. Shiro reminds me of the word zero. So Shiro, zero. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. There's money to be made in crypto. Just stick to your big coins. Stick to Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Cardano, and gosh darn it, even even the Dogecoin, is a good one to get is a good one to follow for sure. All right. Oh boy. Now let's go big screen. Let's go big screen and let's check out. Holy banana bread! There's a lot of messages here today. We are starting with Brian. Brian says, "Good afternoon, everyone." And let's see, for those that have a large to-do list when hell freezes over, that starts today. It does. And I'm assuming you're talking about the temperature because the polar vortex is on the loose tonight. The wind chill in Ottawa is going to be close to a negative 38. So, yeah, not a good night to be out. Also, not a good night if something were to happen to the power. So, yeah, not a good night. Cold. It's just cold. Very cold. Stan is in the house with a happy Friday. Claude says hello. Hooray. The weekend is finally here. I like the weekend. Bismarcky, happy Friday, everyone. Yeah, we got Marina in here with a happy Friday, fellow investors. Jonathan, am I late for my Board of Peace invitation? I don't know. If you got $1 billion, you never know. Trump might take you. So just going to the title of today's show, Donald Trump is trying to create his Board of Peace. And this is all in reference to Gaza. And he appointed himself, first of all, chairman of the board for life. Even after he's no longer president, he'll still be in charge of this thing. And to join it, if you want a permanent seat on his Board of Peace, you got to pay him $1 billion. So it costs $1 billion to become a part of this club. So far, I think the only people who have joined are a lot of Middle Eastern leaders are definitely there. And I think it's mostly, I don't know how many outside of the Middle East, but he's invited a lot of people. He's even invited Putin. He had invited Carney, but well, Carney said a few words this week that annoyed Donald Trump. And so Donald Trump has rescinded that invitation, saying, nope, you can't be part of my Board of Peace anymore. And Carney had already said there's no way he's paying $1 billion to Donald Trump to be on the Board of Peace. So I think in this case, Donald kind of stole the headline, but it's almost like saying if somebody says, I'm not coming, and they're like, okay, well, I'm not inviting you anyway. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that. Samantha is in the house with a happy Friday. Rory says, afternoon. Yep, this morning, minus 41 with no wind. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's much worse. That is much worse. So we do have this Financial Express going. So every time we add 4 supers or 4 gifted subs or any combination of it, we add another show. Today we are adding for Monday. We're adding for Monday. That's our next possible show. So we'll see if that is going to happen. We also, by the way, guys, yesterday, you guys figured out the 3rd secret goat. So we only got 1 more secret goat to go. So that goat is now available. I will give the first clue on Sunday. On Sunday, I will give the first clue. Oh yes, and here's all of the no sound. All right, I'm gonna skip ahead of the no sound to Scott saying, cold afternoon, everyone. You are beautiful says, oh, banana bread. Good, let's see, ice fog. Looks like Siberia here. All right, okay. I'm just gonna zip past all of the audio. So I have no idea how that happened. See, I've got 2 of them. Now, one of them is not synced. So I always turn the one that I'm using because it's synced. I always turn it upside down when I put it back. And that way there I don't grab the other one. So who knows how they got mixed up? I don't know. All right, guys, I'm just zipping past all of the more sound stuff. All right, Lisa's in the house with a hello, everyone. And Rory says, finally topped Canoe with another stack of shares. Now to invest in something else. Might add to a BMO ETF I own. Okay, interesting. Marina says, enjoy your green January, folks, before Trump flips the script again on poor Greenland. Yeah. Yes. I think Greenland's done now for a bit. For a bit anyway. I think he'll move on to something else. It seems, well, maybe he's going to move on to Canada next again. I don't know. He he comes in waves. He comes in waves. Greenland is probably okay for at least maybe 6 months before he decides to refocus again. Who knows? Navi says, waiting for gold to hit 5,000 today. Looks like it won't happen. Oh boy, where's gold at right now? Let's pull it up. Let's take a look. You're waiting for 5,000. Here we are. Yeah, 49.82. Now keep in mind though, yeah, you know, we got time. We got time. It might, and gold commodities trade, you know, all the time. So maybe, who knows? It'll definitely get there Monday if it doesn't get there today, unless something strange happens on the weekend, and that's with Trump, that's always possible. Roy says Greenland. Yeah, it's mine, my island. All right, you can have Greenland. It's actually funny. When I was a kid, looking at the map of Canada with Greenland there, I think for the longest time I actually thought Greenland was a part of Canada because it just seems like it should be. So I don't know. Maybe what Denmark should do is say, okay, well, we're not going to sell it to the United States, but we'll gift it to Canada because they're cooler. That might be an idea. I don't know. I'm just putting that out there. Zenio, GWOPOW, MFC, causing a drag on bank. Yeah, absolutely. So most of the, basically your life insurance related companies not having the best day. Not having the best day today. Let's see. Yes, silver is doing well today. I'm in SVR and I love it. Yeah, that's not a bad thing. I think you meant ice day. Ice. Claude says, I was too greedy with HBTE this morning. Price was $17.70. I made an order at $17.50, but price went up from that point. It happens. I did. So for those of you who are channel members, I started to also add on my little report that I put on the community tab for the channel members. If I'm putting like a buy order in, so like today, for example, I wanted to do a trade on Air Canada, but I had a price point that I needed to enter, and I'll show you why. Actually, let's go over and take a look. I'll show you. Air Canada, where are you? I gotta look up, look way up in the sky. Oh, there it is. So here is Air Canada. So Air Canada has been in a channel, and you guys know I love trading channels. So for me right here, 1925. 1925 is where I want to get in. And it wicked pretty darn close to getting my entry point. So I have a limit order to get back in. Now I am in on the challenge. This is just in my actual swing trade account. So I'm looking to get back in around 25, and then I'll play it up till about probably 1970, I think, probably right now while it's in this channel. So anyway, I'll have to put that order again in pretty soon, pretty darn soon. So, what can I say? Rory says 4% cash back switch to Quest Trade, but no thanks. Okay. Yeah, I don't have Quest Trade. I mean, I have an account, but it doesn't work, and they won't fix it. So I'm just like, I don't know what's going on with Quest Trade. Let's see. Brian says I'm flat in my TFSA and up 0.25% in my RRSP. You bought 48 shares of QQQI today and a couple of CPCC. Ooh, love my copper cover call ETF there. Rory, 39% my TFSA for total return so far. And Roy's saying, I think a lot of people are in the same boat, 20 to 40%. Nice. I just noticed something here. We got a new channel member. Vicster has joined the channel membership. And that's a goatable offense. So Vicster has joined the goat squad with our Monopoly goat. So we got our Monopoly goat. If we get, of course, to 4 of those today, that adds a show on Monday. So we're 1/4 of the way there. Thank you for joining Vicster. Now you are also going to be able to watch videos one day early. And not just that, you'll be able to see my my swing trade report that I send out to the channel members. You will also be able to attend the well, we have a special live stream every month for channel members. We've already done the January one, but you'll be able to attend the February one. And I will be bringing in office hours. That's going to be a new feature for the channel members. That's going to be coming in sooner than later, sooner than later. All right. So, all right, now let's see, where the banana bread was I? I don't mind being interrupted like that, though. That's for sure. All right. I thought I saw some French. I thought I saw some French. Where is it? It's right down here. Right down here. Yes. Oh, it's not French. It's just Mateo right here. Mateo distribution dropped again now. 0.20. Oh, yeah. I don't like that. I don't like that. My message disappeared. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It shouldn't have. It will. Well, wait a minute. Let's just, I'll backtrack here. If you put a link in your message, I think YouTube will completely just remove your message because you're not allowed to put links in your messages. I think that if you use profanity, and I don't think you used profanity, Marina, at all, but I'm just sort of giving you the things I know. If you profanity, links, yeah, something that perhaps, I don't know, something bad maybe. Some of that does gets killed by YouTube. The Nightbot, now the Nightbot used to get on people for emojis, but I turned off the Nightbot's ability to do that because I was just like, what? You can't time people out, Nightbot. So I'm not sure what happened. If you are trying to put a web address in, you can put it in, just don't put the period. And sometimes it's not even it's not even a web address. Sometimes if you go to put a stock, like for example, if you try to type in eit.un, sometimes it'll let it through, but sometimes it'll think it's a web address. It'll think because it'll see the dot. So what some people do is they just spell it out. So they do EITDOTUN. That's one way to get around that. So you can get things in there. Let's see here. On to Brian. Brian, when you do some of those crap coins with a huge exponent, click on the market cap as well. You might see if $1,000 buys the entire supply. That's actually kind of funny. All right, we'll have to do that next time. Nee said I made it almost. Okay, all right. Well, almost welcome. Is that what we're supposed to say? Marina says, not sure if you've already discussed this. What are your thoughts on PSLV? It has massive momentum right now. What would be your target price for the silver bull run? All right, well, let's pull up PSLV first. All right, I was just taking a look to see how close we are to the bell. We got a good, yeah, we got about 4 minutes. We got about 4 minutes. PSLV, here we go. So this here is the Sprott Physical Silver Trust. I like Sprott. They've got a lot of these trusts. I think they've got a gold trust. I think they've got a uranium trust, a silver trust, of course. So let's pull back, and you can see that this is very reflective of what silver's been doing this year. So this is another way to gain exposure to silver. So in this case here, they're actually holding physical silver. That's basically what Sprott does. They'll hold it. So yeah, that's fantastic. Like, I like the Sprott ones. I think they're fine. I think they're a good way to get some exposure for sure. Now, the big question though is, what is the price target for the silver bull run? I don't even want to put a target on the price. But let's just come back here for a second, and we'll come over here to silver. There we go. Silver. So right now, silver's sitting at $102.46. So we finally got to that $100 target that Asian AI guy was talking about. Funny enough. I think silver's going to do really well. I think they're going to be consistent. Now, how much will that translate to in a year? I don't think it'll be $200. I will say that much. I could, yeah, if I had to absolutely guess, I would say I don't know, maybe 125, and I might be I'm probably on the conservative side by year's end, but it could do better, and I hope it does better. I know that a lot of my guesses are on the conservative side, and I'm happy about that. Um, but yeah, and it really also, I mean, there's so many factors in there when we're doing this. So I say 125. Well, you know what? Let me give you a range: 125 to 150, and if I'm completely wrong, maybe 175. Um, but yeah, I like to always, because I guess kind of my philosophy is if I am conservative on an estimate and it over exceeds, especially on good estimates, then it's a lot of icing, and I do like icing. Scott says polar bear vortex like Sharknado, but with polar bears. Don't give the Sci-Fi Network any ideas. They'll do it. They'll do it for sure. Let's see. Oh, well, he doesn't need Canada anyway. Dorpat says his fellow board members were all looking depressed. No one wants to be there. They are just trying to appease the orange guy. Yep. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. And oh, guys, we got another new channel member. Lily has jumped in, and that means we get to release another goat into the goat squad, and it is everyone's favorite. Well, maybe not everyone's, but my favorite. The moon goat, space goat. Here we go. I am loving it, and we got about 1 minute to the bell. I got my first little warning alarm. So, these alarms are working so well. Well, thank you once again, Lily, for joining. And yeah, it's great. I want to keep doing more and more for the channel members. So, the more you guys join, the more incentive I have to definitely do more for sure. All right. And speaking of the Nightbot, that means, guys, that we are 2 away from a Monday show. And Scott says, I'm not going to guess the secret goat clues, even if I figure it out. Oh, Scott, come on. You are pretty much 3 for 3. I kind of want to put the challenge to you. Now, I know there's 0% chance that you guys will figure it out today. 0%. 0. Oh. Guys, it is time. The market's closed. Whoa, I hit my my coffee cup on the way back. Welcome to the weekend, guys. Holy banana bread, what a week, hey? Oh boy. All right. On to the chat. Wah Hipple is in the house. Hey, I am here. And Larry says, U.S. aircraft carrier to be in the Persian Gulf Saturday or Sunday. Let's go, crude oil. Yes. So, of course, that's, of course, in response to what's going on in Iran. Let's see where that goes. That could be our next Black Swan event, guys. It could be. I'm not saying it will be, but it could be. And let's see, Cleveland Cliffs up 20% since buying it. That's not too shabby. You gotta like that. Wahipple says I got some more eBank with my TFSA distributions. Nice. And I'm a pretty big fan of eBank for sure. Scott says Denmark is the only other country beside the U.S. that Canada shares a land border with. Is there? Wait a minute. All right, just a second. Is there an actual part where we have a land border, though? It's kind of a sea border, right? Because there's there's water between Greenland and Canada. But maybe you know something I don't know. Scott, sorry. No, maybe you know something I don't know. I'm thinking hard. Is there, gosh, Scott, please explain this. I need to know. Actually, I do really need to know. I'm not going to Google it. Google it, but I do need to know. Erwin says Cameco is on a tear again. Missed opportunity. Yeah, Cameco is, all of the uranium. So all of the uranium producers, their price is exploding. And uranium, as I said, we're in a situation with uranium where quite literally, when you look at how much uranium is being used, that amount is bigger than the amount of uranium that actually is being produced. So right now there's stockpiles, and those stockpiles keep getting smaller and smaller. And we're already seeing some of the price consequences of what's been happening in the uranium system. We're already seeing it on the producers. That's one of the reasons that some of the producers will fly up even higher than what uranium is going up. And it's going to be interesting. Like I've been bullish on uranium for a while, guys, and like I said, there's a reason. Well, how about 4M Mining has been doing good this week? Yes, they absolutely have. CJ says, I have been with Wealthsimple for over 5 years now. Awesome platform. I love Wealthsimple. Yeah, guys, if you have not tried out Wealthsimple, why haven't you? That's what I say, first of all. Here, let me give you a link. I'm going to give you a link to Wealthsimple, guys. This is my affiliate link. So if you sign up, they give you guys 25 bucks. They give the channel 25 bucks. So it's a win-win, but it is a great platform for sure. And quite literally, a lot of investors today actually have multiple platforms. So, maybe Wealthsimple is one to throw in there. It doesn't cost you anything. And like I said, they're going to pay you. So that's not too shabby. Rob says, what popular stocks are oversold right now? Good question. I don't have the data in front of me, so I don't know off the top of my head. I can't think of any immediately that come to mind, but let's see here. Sold half of my sold half of my MMY and put it into HME. Okay, interesting. All right. Bart says, hey, Candace, is it true that Canadian ETF that holds U.S. stocks are subject to a 15% IRS withholding tax and dividends? No, it's not true, but there is some truth to it. Let me explain. So if you hold so we'll say HYLD. Actually, no, let's not go with HYLD. Let's just say, doesn't matter who. We won't even use a specific ETF. So if you hold a Canadian ETF that holds U.S. companies, well, those U.S. companies, when they pay the dividends to that management company, though there's withholding tax on that. There is withholding tax. Now, it may not be 15%, depending on the company. A lot of companies have different deals and arrangements with the IRS. So some of them may only be charged 5% withholding tax. Some of them also have different swap scenarios set up as well with different U.S. companies so that they can avoid withholding tax altogether. So any withholding tax that happens not to you, but to the company. So when you look at, we'll just call it Super USA ETF. So your Super USA ETF held by Super Canada Company, what they're giving to you is exactly what they're telling you. So anything, like I said, anything that got pulled from the IRS happened on the U.S. side before it got to that company. And if it is a company that does things like covered calls, well, once again, that also changes things because the covered calls, a lot of the dividend that they're giving you isn't even coming from the U.S. A lot of it is coming from premiums that are written, premiums that are paid because of written options. So, and that all happens on the Canada side. So, for the most part, I don't think you really need to worry about it. And with that in mind, if you take that ETF and you're saying, okay, well, if there's a tiny bit of withholding tax that's being charged to that company, I'll just put it in my RRSP. Doesn't help you. Doesn't help you at all because it has nothing to do with you. It all happens on the other side. It happens between the management company and the U.S. companies. And and like I said, some of them they've got some pretty crafty ways to avoid a lot of that tax as well. So I wouldn't be super concerned. So that's why I'm saying there's a hint of truth in it, but the actual statement itself is false. All right, Wahipple. I have put dots in for tickers so I could show the exchange at the same time. I am going to change the dot to a comma so it shows up. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Perhaps the bot didn't like when I used .to with PSLV. That's probably what it was. If you actually used an actual dot, that's why it disappeared on you, Marina. Yeah, there we go. Mystery solved. Okay. CJ, yes, but not if you hold in your RRSP account. So I put any dividend earning US stocks in RRSP account. And once again, this is going back, I think, to Bart's question. So no, in this case here, you don't have to put it in an RRSP because it's a Canadian company. So the dividends, any withholding tax that does happen is happening before it goes to that company. So great example, CDRs. CDRs are a perfect example. So CDRs, you don't get big dividends on them, right? But any withholding tax on that CDR, if you're holding a CDR, the holding tax doesn't happen on the CDR. It happens on the companies that, in this case here, CIBC. So CIBC has, let's see, NVIDIA. So NVIDIA has a tiny dividend. Let's not worry about that. So the USA will charge a withholding tax on that little tiny dividend. And then, of course, CIBC, if they have no deal, they pay. If they have absolutely no arrangements or deals with the US, they're paying the full amount. They're paying the full 15% on that. So it does impact you, of course. It's going to get factored into the MER. So you will still, I mean, you still are the one paying it in the long term for sure. But wherever you hold it, it doesn't matter because anything you can do will not play any role in any way, shape, or form on how much tax the IRS gets. So there's nothing you can do in this situation. Now where it does come into play on your side is if you were holding a US ETF. So let's say you were holding a US ETF. So let's say something like YMAX from YieldMax. So if you were holding YMAX, well, in that case, yeah, 15% is coming off of that unless you hold it in your RRSP. So that's where the RRSP comes in. You have to be holding an American. It's not an American holding. It has to be, the ETF. If in case of ETFs, it has to be an American ETF as well. So the company has to be America. If it's a Canadian company, don't worry about it. That's all. Like I said, that's already been deducted before it even gets to the company. So it has nothing to do with you at all. Okay. Newell says, I got some Sprott uranium recently. Doing pretty well so far. Nice. Larry's predicting the top for silver at 170. So there we go. Brian says the Asian guy said 150. Oh, 150 by Tuesday of this week. I might be better at predicting. Oh, did he? Oh, he said one. Oh gosh, it's not going to happen by Tuesday. Nope. Lily says, love that goat. I was going to say goat moon. Moon goat. Yes, absolutely. Lance says, I think 125 by summer, 175 by Christmas. Fingers crossed for my silver juniors. Yeah, and like I said, my guess and my prediction, very conservative. So I'm hoping you guys are closer to the mark. Scott says, I don't want to monopolize the guessing. I want others to have fun trying. Okay. Yes, he is correct. Hans Island. We have a fun dispute with Denmark over ownership for years. We finally settled it by splitting it down the middle. You should Google it. Wait a minute. Hans Island. I know there's a couple of islands. I know. Oh, there's also an island as well. I know there's an island. I think it's in the Bay of Fundy or somewhere's down in there, where Canada and the United States keep reclaiming the island. But I think I've heard that name before, Hans Island. So, okay, I didn't realize we split it down the middle. That's interesting. Okay, thank you. I like that. Let's see here. Rory, who else wants to wrestle about covered call ETFs with Ben Felix in a long-bodied Frankenstein match? Yeah, you know what? And the thing with Ben Felix is that he's not wrong, but he is wrong at the same time, if that's hard to say. Like the arguments he's making are correct, but he's making some assumptions on what happens on the covered call size. And the big assumption that he's making is that is that people who are investing in covered calls are sort of diluted in regards to the loss of upside potential. We're not. We all realize it's there. It's you know, I don't think there's anybody here who doesn't realize that you're trading growth for income. And that's where I think that's kind of the main stumbling point with Ben Felix is that he doesn't sort of quite get that, and I don't know how to make him understand it. I'm leaving him alone for the most part. Unless he calls me out in a video, then I'll respond. I certainly will. But until then, I'll let Ben Felix do what Ben Felix does best. Larry says another Friday board party tonight. 42% return. Nice. Let's see. Lance, and my guess of 125 by summer, 175 by year end is me being very conservative. 30 to 1 GSR by Christmas. All right. Well, maybe I'm super conservative. DJT is oversold. It should be a penny stock. Yeah, DJT. Oh, I that's one of those ones. You know how Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger used to sort of be like, I wouldn't even take Bitcoin if you gave it to me. I'm kind of like that with DJT. I don't want anything to do with it. Let's see, up 2.8 million so far this year, with 20% going to my holding corp for fees. Oh, that's a lot of fees. That's a lot of fees, Larry. Did you do a video on cash ETF? We are downsizing and need to part some cash. Tuesday. That video will be dropping on Tuesday. So that's pretty exciting. Actually, you just joined the channel membership, so you'll be able to see it Monday. So you will absolutely be able to see it Monday. I can't wait. Let's see. And I'll even say, actually, here's the funny thing, Lily. The video's done. That video is absolutely... I'm trying to get ahead of the game because, that's one of my goals this year is to get a week ahead. So that way if something happens that, let's say I get a cold or something and I can't talk or something, or I got laryngitis, it won't stop the videos. That way, gives me a week buffer. So that one is actually done. Lance says, isn't withholding tax withheld waived if they're paid in USD and it's in RRSPs? If it's US, right? Now, this is the whole thing. So if you're holding, so here's a good example. Let's go to the whiteboard. Let's go to the whiteboard. Where is it? I think this is it here. All right, so we're going to look at two things. We're going to look at VFV and VOO. So these are both basically, they're both pretty much the same thing, pretty much. There's subtle differences. So the VFE, that's your Vanguard, and the other one is your Vanguard. So they're both Vanguard. This one is sold on the Canadian market. So I'm just going to put CAN. And this one is sold on the US market. All right, so with this one here, they're both holding US companies. So any dividends that you get from this one, there's no withholding. There just simply is not any withholding. So withholding here, let's do that in H. So there's no withholding no matter what. And the reason is that this here is done by Vanguard Canada. So anything from, any dividends that come in, so we'll just say divs, the IRS will do its thing here. Over here, this is going to be Vanguard. Over here is you. So any taxes that's pulled out of there, any withholding, it's done before it even gets to Vanguard. So when Vanguard is determining the amount that you're going to receive, well, obviously the divs that they're receiving are going to be 15% smaller. So that's what would happen. Now, Once again, I'm not even going to do the complicated part. Vanguard probably has a deal with the IRS, so they're probably not paying 15%. But anyway, that's where that deduction happens. Now, in this case over here, yeah, there is withholding. So you do have withholding tax. And the way it works over here is, here we go, you got your divs, and you have, basically in this case here, you still have Vanguard in here, but it's the US Vanguard. So what ends up happening for you is that you're still getting, it's still, even though they're in here, the IRS, because it is a US one, it's just the IRS and you for the most part. So Vanguard is still in between, but they're not involved at all in the tax situation. You are. So with this, that means that if it is in your TFSA, whoops, TFSA, here we go. So if it's in your TFSA, taxes, so you pay tax. If it's in your RRSP, whoops, RRSP, there we go. Normally I write a little bit better, guys, with my mouse. If it's in your RRSP, then yeah, there are taxes. Sorry, there are no taxes. There are no taxes. The reason for that is that the treaties, so the Canadian, basically the foreign tax treaty that we have between Canada and the United States, it specifies that the RRSP is a registered account. So in other words, the whole reason that the tax treaty is in there is to avoid one thing that they don't like to have, which is double taxation. So in your TFSA, because Canada is not taxing you, it's all tax-free, well, there's no taxes. So the IRS looks at it and says, well, there's no taxes, so that does not qualify. We can do our withholding tax. When you look at the RRSP, it's 100% taxable. The government is getting a tax on everything in it. So the IRS looks at that and by guiding of the tax treaty, they're like, oh, it's already being taxed. So that would qualify. So we're not going to charge taxes on that. Now, the other option here, of course, is if you're holding it in just a regular cash account. So those are your non-registered. In that case, they'll look at it and they'll say, well, this one is obviously not registered. We're still going to hit them with taxes. So what the Canadian government in this case does is you've got the foreign tax credit. We'll just say FTC. And that way there, you should be able to get most of that back. And that will differ depending on your province, also depending on your tax bracket. So there's a little bit of factors in there. So you may not get all of it back, but it will give you a break in that situation. So that's the difference between these two. So this, once again, this is the key part. Canada, right here. Canada, Canada, Canada. Whoops, there we go. So as long as, oh, that's all underneath my head. Hilarious. Let's see here. I can zoom it out a little bit there. There, you can see it better. As long as it's a Canadian company, you're not getting withholding taxes. You're just not. It does not happen. But as I said before, Vanguard Canada, Vanguard Canada is paying some amount to the IRS. So it's happening way before you. So yes, you're paying them, but you can do nothing about it. Let's just put it that way. You can do nothing about it. Well, you could switch to VOO and put it in your RRSP, but well, then again, you're just paying 100% tax. So, I don't usually subscribe to doing that unless I really, really, really want this VOO. I'm just saying. All right. Sue is in the house. I bought some ex-div today. Monday is the last day to buy. Dividends get paid on 30th of January. Nice. Scott says VFV yes, VOO no. There we go. Wahipple, I'm doing research on ATX.V. What is that? What is that? Let's take a look. ATX. ATX Resources. Okay. Oh, look at that. They're up 11% today. So is that what got you, brought you in? Let me take a look here. Yeah, they've been doing pretty darn good. So not a penny stock. I'm liking that right off the top. What do they got? What do they got here? Let's see here. Copper, gold, porphyral. Let's see here. L Indo high sulfidation belt to the south. Okay. All right. So very interesting. Oh, an area. I was trying to figure out what is porphyr. I was like, I don't recognize that mineral. But yeah. Yeah, no, this looks interesting. They've got themselves in with a lot of good stuff in here. Let's take a quick look at the back end. All right, so they're not profitable yet. That's the one downside. Like, look at this. Their return on equity negative 458.89%. But I don't know when this data is because, and I've said this many, many times. When a company does really, really well towards the end here, like this, that data may not be reflected in the fundamentals when you look at it, depending on when they report it. And in this case here, obviously they're the next report they have, it's going to be for Q4. So Q4 ends right here. So this last bit of growth, this is not going to be included, but this solid part of growth will. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't know if they have delivered their Q4 yet or not, but that will be another interesting thing to take a look at as well, Wahipple. Bart says, thanks for the explanation, Candace. I have HHIS and Biggie within my TFSA. So I assume if I'm expecting $1 dividend, I'll get $1 and not 85. Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, everything, any kind of tax ramifications have all been done before they've hit, in this case here, Evolve and Harvest. All right. Brian says that was this past week for silver at 150 from that Asian AI guy, not next week. Oh, okay. Oh, gosh. Oh, excuse me. Scott says, I think Ben Felix is putting that out there because there are other YouTubers that just push the yield and explain the trade-off. Yeah. I mean, I think you're right. I think there are people who will come in. Like, if you come in here and if you don't understand, like, for one, if you're going to talk about covered calls on your YouTube channel, you should have a basic idea of how they run. So, and it is true. There are some people out there. I have seen people that just go all on about the yield, and oh boy. And if you really want to go down a rabbit hole, take a look at some of the financial videos on TikTok. Oh boy. It's actually funny, guys. I was thinking, because I don't really do that many shorts, and I want to do some shorts, but it's like, what do I do? What do I do? I'm almost thinking it might be fun to do a few reaction videos, like reaction shorts to TikTok shorts. I don't know. I don't know if that's something you guys want to see or not. So it's something I've been mulling over. Oh, and speaking of mulling over, I am thinking of one possible. Now, this is kind of where I'm at thinking wise. So as you guys know, we're going to have a live stream that's exactly 10,000 seconds long in celebration of 10,000 subs when we get there. And one of the shows that we did before in the past, we did a game show. We did a financial Jeopardy. I'm thinking we could do some kind of a game show where basically we'll play till 10,000 points. Or the 10,000 seconds run out, whichever comes first. Anyway, it's just kind of, like I said, I've been thinking and thinking and thinking, so I might look at creating some kind of a game show, because that was so much fun for those of you who were there that night. All right. Paul said, good afternoon. 18 minutes behind due to a pause, 1.5x mode now. Let's see, DJT as a penny stock is overpriced. Don't explain the trade. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, and guys, we are. I think. No, we're still 2 away. I thought we had a. Why did I think? I thought we had a third, but I guess we didn't. Okay, so we're 2 away from a. From a Monday show. All right, let's see here. Where are we? Oh, right here. Claude says, I think VDY dropped special dividends, received some this afternoon, but I already had them beginning of January. Okay. Let's take a look. We might be able to, it should have been declared if there were special dividends. Let's see, VDY, boom, bang. Let's come in here. In this case here, we just want to go to the key data. And let's see here. Let's see, payable date January 7th. Then yeah, there's two in January here. So one of them has to be special dividends. I will assume that maybe the one on the 7th probably was your regular, and that would be your special dividend. So yeah, 17.1 cents extra per share. That's not too shabby. So yeah, there's two payments in there. So nice. Ian says, need more likes. I'm only giving one. Uh-oh. Are we down on the likes again? Guys, let's take a look. It's because Mary hasn't shown up yet. Mary shows up and gets you guys in line. Oh, we're at 44. That's not so bad, but still, you know what? Let's push that to 60, guys. Let's push it to 60. All right. Steve says, same here, Claude. Wasn't expecting a second VDY dividend, of course. AI says no extra dividends have been announced. Well, yeah. Well, here's the thing. They were declared. Look right here. It was declared on the 9th of January. So it was declared. It was declared. So, yeah, it was declared. AI may have missed it, maybe. All right. Larry says Bayer breaks through the 13s, now on the way to 14. Nice. Gursky says, silver rocket ship today. Yeah, silver. Well, heck, let's go back. Let's go back. Here it is. Silver. 6.81%. And keep in mind, guys, like, look, they're still trading. Like, gold and silver trade all the time. They're not, you know, they could technically go higher. Chances are, though, I don't think they move that much in the after hour unless stuff happens. Well, maybe, but I think on the weekend though we're not going to see much movement. Hipple ATX is just taking core samples, so I am kind of nervous they could end up selling the claim, and if they do build a mine, it will be close to 10 years. Yeah, it takes time. That's for sure. That's for sure. That's the one downside. Let's see. Marin says, good afternoon, everyone. Hit the like button for the channel. Thank you. Thank you. Scott says, I don't TikTok. I'm waiting for the Chinese EVs to get spied on. Okay. Hipple, I hit like when I came in. And Claude says, well, I certainly don't mind not having been told. Like finding a $20 in your pockets. Yeah. I'll tell you, I have not. The last time I found money was, well, it was a $10 bill on my lawn. So that's, if you ever hear the joke, it shows up every so often about lawn dividends. But that's a couple years ago now. So I'm like, it's been a while. It's been a while. CAD has been moving up against the USD. Yeah. Well, I mean, the Canadian economy has just been, you know, especially in the markets. We have been consistently kicking the U.S. for a while. And I gotta imagine if I was a foreign investor and I'm thinking, all right, should I get involved? What market should I pick? If it was between Canada and the U.S., I might look very hard at Canada. Even though the U.S. has the biggest economy, Canada, the Canadian market is just doing so well. So I would be very, 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 I'd be very interested if that, for sure. All right, and there's the Nightbot. So yeah, we're halfway there. We're halfway there. Rob says SVR is the iShares Silver ETF. Yeah, it is a good one. It is a good one. And hold on for 1 second here. I'm just double checking. Yeah, there was only two. I felt like there was a third, but well, now there is. Now there is a scratch in with a in with a super sticker. PL1 and PA1 did well too today. All right, let's take a look at both of those here in a second. But before we do, it's time for the TSX goat. So we got the TSX goat, the bell-hitting TSX goat. So that is number 3. We are 1 away. Guys, we're 1 away from a Sunday show. We have a Sunday show from a Monday show. All right, now let's take a look. PL and PA, are they both PL1? All right, let's see if I can find these here. Scratch. All right, here we go. PL1. PL1. All right, now that's PL is Planet Labs. PLI? Is that maybe an I? All right, I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure what it is. Scratch, let me know, please, so I can pull them up. PL1 and PA1. All right, I'm not sure what those are. We'll jump over here. Steve says SVR. Well, I can pull SVR up. So SVR, of course, is a palladium and platinum and palladium. There we go. All right. Yeah, and I thought, was it yesterday? I think yesterday Jill in the background was going, platinum beat silver, platinum beat silver. Yeah, so this one here is the iShares Silver Bullion ETF, and yeah, it's also, I mean, look at this. I mean, this is the story of silver. This is the story of silver, so it's definitely doing fantastic for sure. Yes, you gotta love it. And there was platinum and palladium. I probably should, at the very least, I should see if I can find a ticker for platinum that I can add to the chart, because I think that would be a good one to look at each day. Anchor says, with all the talk of gold and silver, how about some base metal love? What are your thoughts on DBB? Let's take a look. DBB. How about we do DBB? There we go. So Invesco Base Metal Fund. There we go. Now I like pretty much metal right across the board. I'm very bullish on materials. So we're not just like, we talk a lot about gold and silver, but I think materials overall are going to be, doing this. And in this one here, we got base metals. So let's see here. Does it actually tell you what is in here? So aluminum, zinc, copper. So copper, I'm hugely bullish on copper on the long term. And I think copper is definitely going to be a play for sure. And I think metals in general. So this is a good one. This is a good one on the U.S. base metals. We got a few over here in Canada too that are really good. So we also have base. So this here is the Evolve one. So this one here is basically materials and mining, but this is with some income here. So we'll pull this up, and they've been doing pretty good. Now this one, you are losing a bit of your upside because you are getting 8.299% of a dividend. So not too shabby, 20 cents a share. Now, if you don't need the income and you want all of that upside, there's things like this one. Like here's XMA. This is your iShares S&P TSX Cap Materials Index ETF, and I'll pull the year up on that one. And once again, similar shape. They're all doing the same thing. So I think there's a lot that you could certainly do. Scratch says PL1 and PA. Let's take a look. Let's try this. All right. Let's do PL1. PL1. Poland. There we go. Platinum Futures is PL. All right. And that's the thing, is finding exactly which one here. So Citigroup Markets, Luxembourg, 8.5 RBC. That's a bond. Bond. Let's just see here. I got it on all right now. Let's see here. I don't know if I'm not really looking for futures though, but all right. Yeah, I'm going to figure that out. I'll figure that one out. And this is TradingView here. Let's just try something here. going to try platinum just straight up. So, XPT, commodity CFD. There's a few in here. I have to check and take a look and see. I'm going to take a look at this one. Let's look at this one first here. Just kind of curious to see. All right, that one's interesting. That could be, and I'll have to double check, but if that is representative platinum, up 5.37% today. So not too shabby. Not too shabby. All right, I like that. Marina, I try to smash that like button the second the stream starts before my brain pulls the forget me now switch. Let's see. Hubby sums it up perfectly. Your memory's great. It just has a super short shelf life. All right. Well, why not? And that's the thing. And you know, I'm always grateful. Like I do that too. I do try to hit the like button on my way in when I'm watching something. But every so often I'm watching something and the YouTuber says, you know, and hit that like button. And I'm looking, I'll just take a glance at it. And sometimes it's not hit. And I'm like, I hit it right away then. Because, you know, Scott, all this talk about elements reminds me of the Animaniacs periodic table song. Ooh, do they have a periodic table song? That's kind of interesting. Yeah, it's funny. I've been, and this is going to be, all right, turn on your geek alert. And I'll go big for this. Turn on your geek alert. This is going to be as geeky as they can be. But now that we have the new smart A word, at night, I keep challenging the A word to come up with sort of like a go-to-bed lullaby poem about something geeky. So in this week alone, she's given me a poem on the citric acid cycle, oxidation reduction reactions, many world theories of quantum mechanics. So I'm just saying, it's kind of funny. I just keep doing it because, you know, and the thing is, she's actually pretty good. I keep calling AI she. I don't know why, but yeah, the A word is actually the new A. The old A, dumb as a box of hammers. The new A, really smart compared to. And some of the rhymes, I'm just like, whoa, those are crafty. If I had written that poem, it would have taken me a week, and it wouldn't have been quite as good. So what can I say? All right, Lily says non-registered account, taxed on funds sold but not on income withdrawal. Is that correct? All right, so if you have a non-registered account, yeah, if you sell a fund, you're taxed on, of course, your capital gains. So basically, the way capital gains tax work is that basically 50% of that becomes taxable. So yeah, that is true. Now, if you withdraw income, well, no, that's not taxed because you've already been taxed on the money you put in it. And if that income that you're withdrawing, if it came from selling a stock, well, yeah, they would tax you at that stage. They're not going to tax you when you withdraw from your non-registered. So you're good. Larry says officially withdraw from the WHO and Trump lambasting global warming. I know. Paul, how does Ben Felix explain TSLA, AMD, AVGO, cover call ETF from Harvest having a better total return than the underlying? He really doesn't. He's painting in broad strokes. And the reality is, like, I watched his last video, you know, and he broke down some of the things that, some of the problems. And some of the things he broke down, well, yeah, some of them are problems. Not all of them. You know, like he attacked single share stocks. Yeah, some of them have got some issues, but not all of them. Some of them are doing exceptionally well. And, you know, he's kind of using a broad brush on that, unfortunately. Scott says, because it's cold here today, global warming is a hoax. Yes. But the big thing about global warming is it's not about the temperature at where you're at. It's about the average temperature. So when you look at the world's average temperature, so, there are places that it's getting warmer faster, places where it's actually getting cooler. And ironically, if you take global warming far enough, if it were to completely disrupt the AMOC, you could get to a situation where it gets even hotter at the equator, while some of the polar, especially in the north, places like Europe, could experience a lot colder winters as a result, even though overall the planet's warmer. So, you have to take that into, and Scott knows this. Scott knows this anyway. All right, Luke says BN Brookfield Corp has been trading sideways for several months now. Longer the base, the stronger the case. What do you think? Let's take a look. Let's actually take a gander here. We'll go over here. Brookfield Corporation. All right, here we go. So currently sitting, and we're gonna just we'll go to the 1 year here. So yeah, I mean, pretty much from about here, they've been pretty much sideways. You've got a little bit of some volatility in here. I can tell you one thing I like right now looking at this. Guess what? This is a channel. And as a swing trader, when I do swing trading, I love channels. So yeah, they do seem to be in a sideways channel. They will break out eventually. Now, if we look at the bigger picture, so let's go back to back to 2023. This actually, you can sort of see, even though it's a channel, it's actually not that, it's not as straight as it appears. So I still like Brookfield Corporation as well as Brookfield Asset Management. I think they're both going to be fine. So yeah, I don't think that's too bad. I don't think it's that bad. I think I would still say right now, like anytime it comes down, it's probably not bad to dollar cost average into this one for sure. All right. Marina says, Candace, what are your thoughts on rare metal ETFs like Remix? All right, well, let's take a look here. All right. Here we go. So this here is your, we'll go over this one here. So this is a Van Eck Rare Earth Strategic Metals ETF. Okay, interesting. I think, honestly, most of these, even the rare earths, I think they're just all going to sort of follow that same trajectory that we're seeing with materials. And we're seeing that here. So yeah, I mean, and keep in mind, I don't know every mineral they have in here, but they're going to have they're going to have a lot of the same ones. Like you're going to have gold, because gold is considered rare. Silver, not as rare, but it's still rare. Copper, though, believe it or not, copper is not considered that rare. But still, it's, So let's see here. So currently they have 44 elements in the periodic table are considered rare earth strategic metals. So there we go. I'd love to see a list of all of the ones that they have. But like I said, I think materials, I'm bullish on materials right across the board. Specifically, as I mentioned, Group 11. So Group 11 metals on the periodic table, which is copper, silver, gold. And yeah, I definitely like that. Oh, I wasn't showing a thing, was I? Guys, I'm big screen. There we go. Sorry, we were just looking at Van Eck Rare Earth Metals right here. Sorry, guys. All right, let's go back to Brookfield Corporation again. Just, I'll bring that back up. Here we go. Yeah, so Brookfield Corporation, when you look at it on the year, you can see right here, you can see this little bit of a channel right in here. Great, we got a channel. But zooming out, you can sort of get a better sense that, even though it's a channel, it is slightly moving to the upside. So I think they're still doing fine. I have a lot of faith in Brookfield. I think they're a good company. I think, they've been doing things right. And and I don't even care about all of the other stuff. The other stuff is irrelevant. I just think the company itself, it's well put together, and I think they're going to do fine. All right. Holy banana bread. All right. We got a super sticker. So our last goat for the goat squad is, this one here. So, and this one's going to be retired once we get the next secret goat. Once that one's figured out, Of course, a huge thank you to Marina for the $3 super sticker. And that also means, guys, Monday show is a go. So we will be doing a market close on Monday. So it continues. The Financial Express is still on the track. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. We will also be doing a Sunday show, of course, as we always do. We got This Week on Sundays. That is that's always a go, and that one's always fun. That's our long show, believe it or not. This one here, technically, normally the market closes go between 1:15 to 1:30, sometimes longer. Sometimes you guys get me talking and we just keep going. But the weekend show normally goes about 2.5 hours. So they are longer for sure. Awesome. All right, let's see here. Where are we at? All right, we just finished that. What were you saying early on the company's going up? What were you saying early on the company's going up? I don't know. I really don't know what that was in context to. Luke, the big drop in BM was a stock split a few months ago. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I do like stock splits, so I'm okay with that. You weren't showing Brookfield. I know. All right, and this here we can turn off. We can turn off the. Let me just turn off the Financial Express. There we go. Nightbot is now turned off. All right, let's see. BN just had a stock split. Prior to the split, they were trading at 90. Yes. So yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So this, I assume right here, we're looking at. No, well that's Liberation Day right there. But I realized I was looking at a really long chart. So what can I say? Oh gosh, this coffee's really good. Okay, guys, if you got your last minute questions, now's the time. Now's your time to get those on in. As I mentioned before, if you have not seen today's video, definitely check that out tonight. I love this one. So basically, I took a look at least for the Canadian-centric and the US-centric new ETFs that have come out over the last year. And that's pretty cool. What is this? The content isn't available. I see this screen on Candace's feed. It's becoming unwatchable. What content isn't available? I'm not sure what you're seeing. Uh-oh. The content isn't available. I quickly looked at the test screen just to see if I was still there. Uh-oh. I don't know what that is, Rory. This content isn't available. You know what, Rory? Take a screenshot and throw it over on Discord, because that's got me. I have no clue what you're talking about. Let's see here. You had a map talking about certain stocks going up. A map. Yeah, I'm still not sure, Michael. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's a good question. Let's see. Do you mean today's video? What's a good platinum stock to get into? That's a good question. I have not really looked into a lot of platinum, but Scott, do you have a platinum? Is there a platinum ETF? Actually, you know what? Let's just do. Oops. Let me actually share it so you can see it. Let's just type in platinum. See what comes up. Like, we know that there's a Sprott Platinum. Like right here. See here. Sprott Physical Platinum and Palladium Trust. So this might be a good one right here. We'll go to this one because I do like Sprott. So in this case here, and you just pull up the last year and you can sort of see, like, this is a stock. It's gone from $13.43 all the way up to $30. So that's really good. That's really good. Holy banana bread. That's exceptional. So that might be one way to get exposure. Now, that's not going to give you any income or anything like that if you're looking for income. I don't think there is a platinum covered call fund at all. Other than, well, the base might have, I wonder if base is holding, they might have some platinum in there as well. All right. Luke says the screen has been fine for me. Not for me. It's black, no video. Oh, you know what? You might need to reboot. You might need to reboot. Walking Eagle says hello. I think it was at the beginning of the start today. Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, Michael. The only thing I could think of, like, I know at the beginning I was showing, of course, the charts, but I'm not, I just don't know, Michael. Yikes. Yeah, I might have to reboot. Maybe. Well, we're almost at the end, if that's any consolation. Tobacco says, have you ever talked about Core Silver, formerly Core Assets Corp? If not, please let me know your thoughts on it. I have not. Let's take a look. Let's try here. Let's try Core Silver. Alvino Silver Mole Blend Regency. You got to give me a bit more information. I'll try Core Assets just to see if that comes up. Frontier Asset Core, Franklin Core, CI Galaxy Core, Core Scientific. Ooh, I like that. But no, I don't have any information. CCCN. Okay. Let me take a look. Douche extractors. Oh, I should never say. I've already warned I should never try to say the German word for Germany, because I can't say it right. It sounds like a completely different word. CNCC. Let me try it this way. Let's do it this way. The Condor Resources, CN Energy. Ah, boy, tobacco. You got me at a loss here. Let me see here. You know what? I'm just going to say, let's try Google first of all. All right, so we are looking for core assets. Let's just put it in here and see. Core assets, real estate. Nope. All right, that's not working. Just give me a second here. You said that it was formerly Core Assets. Well, I'll just do Core Silver. Core Silver ticker. I'm just going to do this here. All right, Core Silver. Here's Core Silver Corporation, CNSXCC. Okay. All right. Oh boy, they're all right. We might have to go with Yahoo Finance on this one, because I don't think TMX has it for whatever reason. So, okay, let's take a look here. 88 cents. All right, their earnings per share right now. So right now they're not profitable. All right, that's fine. Let's come down here and see if I got any data. Return on equity, negative 15.17. Let's see here. No debt. That I like. I like that they don't have any debt, but they are currently running unprofitable at the moment. So let me just see if I can get any kind of a chart here off of this one here. Let's see here. I'm going to pull up their advanced chart. Here we go. Here's a chart. And that's the 1 year. Okay, that's all I wanted to see. So, okay, yeah, they're moving in the right direction. If they invest, obviously they invest in silver. I like that as well. So once again, they're like, if we look here from, where's the beginning of January? So yeah, this last little pump isn't even going to show up in their last quarterly. And I don't know if they've delivered their quarterly yet. So we may even be missing this as well. So maybe they have turned things around. Honestly, I don't know. They are a penny stock though. I'm always a little bit cautious with penny stocks just because it doesn't take much for them to falter. They can fall a lot. They can also rise a lot. Like, you can make a lot of money on penny stocks, but it is really, really risky. But right now they're moving in the right direction. I'd love to see those fundamentals get a little bit better. But you know, if you're going to play it, I wouldn't go deep. I would look at maybe a little bit of play money on it, if anything. All right. Let's see here. All right, here we go. Where were we? Let's see here. Right here. Let's see. Scott says, I would assume that platinum ore isn't formed by itself, so it might be with other precious metals. Probably, yeah. Most metals don't just show up by themselves at all, for sure. Is Michael talking about the trading view screen? I'm not sure. Silver just went over 103. Ooh. Let's take a little gander here. There we go. Where are you at, silver? Oh, there's copper. You're right above it. Oh, look at this. Yeah, up to 7.38%. So silver is starting to pump a little bit in the, not bad. Not bad at all. Ron says, what do you feel about putting a bit into long shots in Canadian Canadian minerals? The Canadian government is very supportive. Yeah. If I was ever going to play a penny stock, this is the time that I would play probably a mining or a mineral or a materials penny stock, because I think you would have better odds than pretty much any other sector within penny stocks. So yeah. I mean, what do I feel about it? I'm still not doing it because it is still risky. But if you want to put that risk in, if your risk level's a little more than mine, it may not be a bad move. I think that there is money to be made there. I'm just saying, for me, it's a little bit on the risky side. So I'm just always a little leery. All right. Scott says, Googled it. Apparently platinum is found alongside copper and nickel deposits. Maybe look for a mine near Sudbury. Ooh, interesting. All right. We were looking at, sorry, let me pull it back up here for you. Where is it? It's up here somewhere. Oh, it's way over here. We were looking at Core Silver Corporation. That's a penny stock, but yeah, it's doing okay. Like I said, fundamentals not yet where I would like it to be, but it's getting there. It's getting there. So I think that's the one. But Michael, yeah, definitely. Next time I pull up something like that and you want some info, speak up right away. Well, it's still fresh. 30 minutes later, it's just like, what was I talking about 30 minutes ago? I don't know. It's kind of like a stream of consciousness in a way. All right, guys. This is we're at the end. This is another great show, you guys. Once again, another great audience. We will be back on, we're going to be back on Sunday for the weekend show. That this week will be going ahead, but we will also be here Monday for a market close again. And we'll do it all over again. Let's see if maybe Donald Trump can take the weekend off and not fuddle the markets on Monday for us. So until next time, guys, I got one last thing I do want to say. And that is, well,